Yo, what's up, guys, and welcome to our week 2/3 power rankings. So yeah, first of all, just want to say sorry for not getting them out last week. We're some busy fellers here, and couldn't find the time between us to get it done. So we're just going to quickly show you this graphic, which is the week 2 power rankings, is the finished graphic that we decided, and just briefly talk over a couple of the results from week 2 before going into a proper week 3 discussion. So any big results from week 2 that we want to talk about here?
Yeah, I
Mm,
would say I would say
Go
like
ahead.
um, it's it's kind of harder to evaluate the newer players on PR sometimes, like when you haven't seen a lot of games, and so some of them are starting to get more games in, which is nice because we can see like different people's play styles. So we had like, for example, the Ripley County Ride-Ons. They beat Kudella 2-0, and we know Kudella's a good player, so the Ride-Ons proven themselves a little bit. I know we ranked them high early on. Then the Butterfrees, they took a game off Fado, which last season's champ. So even though they didn't get the win, I still think that's notable that they can use their bugs uh, in a way to take a game off a good player like that. And so I'm not sure if they're just still figuring out their team or if they're just trying to claw up from these tough matchups. But you can tell that they're developing game plans and you know they know how to use their bugs, the combos, but it's so far it hasn't proven
Fruitful.
right enough to actually get a win. They got a game off you and Otto, so it's pretty
Competent.
good, but
Yeah.
right competent, but still haven't been able to close it out with a set win.
Um,
And then yeah, I think yeah, you and Kamala had a really intense game. That was interesting.
yeah, me and Cal had a great game. Unfortunately, didn't go my way, but credit to Cal and his prep. I just was not expecting like an offensive tang, and yeah, took an L there. But
My game was pretty interesting. I got the prankster mons to get some kills in week two.
who did you play week 2?
Yeah, Luxrays.
All right, yeah, the luxuries, yeah.
I love the name of this video. Got licked.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So anything else to just talk about briefly in week 2? Or are we gonna move on?
No, I think we can move on. They're early on. It's not as interesting, anyways.
Yeah,
People. There's not as many games played. Once we start to see the season develop, it'll be more.
I did just want to quickly say as well, like these PRs that we do, like we take our time to do them because we enjoy doing them. We love doing the analysis. We think it's good for the league. But like, if we can't do them, we can't, and that's gonna happen maybe more than once this season. But we'll do what we can. But yeah, don't pressure us to get things done. So
We all have busy schedules.
week 3 matches. Right, I've got the results up on screen. We're just gonna go down the list and talk about them.
Sure, sounds
Starting
good to me.
with the Texas Toad Frogs taking a 2-0 victory over the Middle Village P Doves. I'll just pull up the match page now. Um, he hasn't posted this yet, right? He said that his footage was scuffed, yeah?
Yeah, and I don't know if that means he's not gonna post it or what.
But I saw the battle report and it seems like Hydreigon did work. 3 kills in each game.
Oh, wow.
So
Does Orum not have a fairy type?
Impidimp.
Okay, so no fairy type.
Yeah, looks as if that was a problem for him.
Yeah, I think that drops him to 0-3. I think he's still figuring
Yeah.
out the team here.
So yeah, I mean, not a lot we can talk about since we haven't seen it yet, but Kudella's 2-1 now, I think. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. All right, let's see if we can get one we can talk about a bit more. There we go. Okay. So the next match was the Waterloo Warriors versus the Cardiff Kamala, and the Warriors
They
picked up a
don't.
2-0.
Yeah, neither of them record, do they?
Yeah, so no footage for this one either.
Sad.
Sad. Just looking at the match report. Heliolisk, two kills in the first game. I like talked with Kel a little bit before his game. He was looking to try and just neuter the Regigigas with like Will-O-Wisp screens and soak, just to like take away its stab and everything. But obviously it
Yeah.
didn't look like it worked. I think the same with the Metagross. The same plan kind of works with that. But yeah, 2-way victory for the Warriors, who came in and replaced someone after week one, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
it was
replaced
Womble.
Womble.
Yeah, Womble. The commissioner,
Some
personal
guy.
reasons, has to take a back seat for real life stuff, which is fair. So we've got the Waterloo Warriors coming in to replace the Celesteelers, and they pick up a 2-0 win. Next game is the Rhydons picking up a 2-0 win over the Bugtista Butterfrees, and that's actually the first 2-0 over the Bug team.
Yeah.
Myself
Looks
and
like
Otto couldn't manage that.
But they haven't. The Rhydons haven't posted their match analysis, have they?
No, not yet, but they like to do a bit of a very professional job, doesn't Will?
Right. Looks like a really close game though. It was both 1-0s.
Oh yeah, interesting. Register
I
looked
think.
like it was very annoying.
Yeah, I was gonna say Registeel for the Bug team is really tough because it doesn't look like he brought.
Volcarona either.
Yeah, which
Durant
over
gets
on the or even Faramosa.
if he max Durant, he could possibly max Knuckle it, but I don't think that would do a lot.
Yeah, you want to hit
Right,
it
because
with
that's only it's
90.
only 95 base power.
But yeah, as you probably expect, Moltres picking up a few kills and Register. Look, he went with the Crustal strat with like the weak armor Aquajet maybe with Glycopod.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah, very interesting that he didn't bring some hit that Registeel. I wonder if he was just more concerned about the Moltres and that's why he went full Crustal mode. And
yeah,
like Gliscopod with water, will be able to hit it. But um, yeah, he maybe he didn't consider that Registeel being a problem.
yeah. Bristol's very annoying, as I found out in semis last season. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
2-0 for the Ripley County Rhydons. Not a lot of content being pumped out this week.
I know. I think we had double content people. Like Otto and Scraggies, you and Manitans, me and Seismitoad just takes other people's videos, but still, it's, Lux Races Sauces. Yeah, a lot of double content.
Okay, so the next match is my match. Myself versus Taco and the Massachusetts Manitans. I could talk a little bit about this one. Let's pull up the match stats a minute.
This was a fun one to watch.
Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about what my idea was. So Taco's team like demands you to prepare for like Sandrush Assault and Colossal. Like I had to lead something that didn't just get swept by those two, right? So
Yeah.
I went with Sandaconda and Lipard. And my Lipard had like fake out if because Caracosta's is only Aquajet, so it had like fake out for the Caracosta and charm for the Dracozolt. So that in front of Sandaconda would kind of I think always win that, but it seems Sako knew that and just ran like a hard trick room team. He was like Iron Ball Dracozolt and
Yeah.
wasn't even Steam Engine Colossal, he was Flame Body. And
Yeah, he comes up with some weird sets, which is always interesting.
I think I still could have won. Like game one, I took like a really unfortunate scold burn on Sandaconda. Um,
Yeah.
and I wasn't shed skin, like my own fault really. I went for Sandvale to try and benefit from T-Tar.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, maybe that was just
Well,
stupid.
and he won the speed tie with Slowking Galar.
Yeah, the Appleton Slow King speed tie was unfortunate. But then I
What
still
were you
think
doing Were you? I forget. Were you Draco Meteor or were you
I was
high
plus
horsepower?
two. I was plus two from the weakness
Yeah.
policy. I was gonna Apple Acid the Jellicent, which I think would have killed, and
Yeah.
attack the Slowking, but that's when I got burned. So I got burned and then lost the speed tie.
He had reflect up, so I don't even think it killed the Slow King, did it?
I'm not sure I remember what's going on at that point.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think like I misplayed anyway. Like I switched Appleton into like two super effective hits. Like I took a Dazzling Gleam and a U-turn straight on Appleton, and then he read my Protect on Coco and doubled into Sandaconda. Um, so yeah, and then game two, I kind of just tried something different, which I probably shouldn't have. I should have just stayed with the Sandaconda strat.
I think game two, you were actually in a better position almost. I feel like whenever you brought the Sandaconda out, if you he didn't have Jellicent on the field, and that's where I was like his other Mons kind of suck against Sandaconda besides Jellicent. So since Jellicent wasn't on the field, I was like, because if you just save Coco for Jellicent, it just wins, or even Appleton.
Yeah,
I was like, oh man, I was like, he could max here and just start blowing out the other stuff, but um, yeah, I think you just decided to play it slow, and I think I forget what else.
I led Appleton game
Oh,
two.
there was the double. You got the double protect on Coco.
Yeah, but then he crit the Sandaconda. But
Yeah,
I
that's
still
right.
didn't. I'm still not even sure I could have won from that point, even without the crit.
Yeah, interesting that I think burn affects body press too.
Yeah, yeah, it
I
does.
think I saw. Yeah,
But yeah, props to
it's not
Taco.
just.
He had amazing prep. Like obviously recognizing that his two main modes probably wouldn't have worked. So yeah, fair play. Can't complain. We are 1-2 at this point, and then a big game tonight.
Good luck to both of you guys. Made the
Yeah, it should be
best.
fun.
Made the best player win.
All right, so let's have a look at the next fixture. Is that also puts Taco at 2-1, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Scraggies versus Slow Bros was our premiere last week, and the Slow Bros pick up the 2-0.
Yeah, I think it was I think the Mudsdale was definitely the call game too. Um, like Mudsdale does really well in the Thunderous typically, and then maybe intimidated by Arcanine, eats Aggron for breakfast, and um, yeah, I
It was
think
the
so. I think
grass knot
I
though.
think, huh?
It was the grass knot that caught him there, wasn't it?
I
Yeah,
know.
it was special Rusian.
I was thinking about that. Like, I was when I was watching it, I didn't have any spoilers, and I was like, he was like saying like, "Oh, I'm just gonna leave Thunderous alone," and I was just in my head, I was just thinking like, I know Otto's gotta have a plan. Like, I was like, please Max Rockfall the Thunderous, and then I think he went for the Steel Spike into Virizion, which protected. Which I mean, and he was like, "Oh, maybe I should have Quaked," which I could see it either way on that because you don't know if it has Protect. But then the next turn when it grass out, I was like,
Yeah.
if he had just called it in Rockfall. So I think he adjusted. I think Scraggs adjusted well. They just had to make more reads to come back there.
Yeah. But Otto still unbeaten. One of the few unbeaten teams now. I think it's like 3 left already. Is that it?
Technically four because of Umbreons.
All right. Yep.
Because yeah, me, Otto, Colopsia, and Umbreons. But Umbreons hasn't played their week 3 game. I don't know if they will.
I think today's the deadline. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. We've got 2 games that haven't been played yet. 3 days over the deadline, but we're just doing what we can with what we know.
Yeah, but
Um,
at least the other one is will be played.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So the next
Second
game is
time today.
yours, Gamer.
Yeah, this was a fun one. It was pretty wild though. So yeah, I mean obviously the Togekiss was with the redirection was annoying, but I was just like, okay, if I just boost up Mamoswine, like I think yeah, I think ground hit a decent amount of his effective. or even just neutral. And I was like, well, it's just going to be annoying having that man field. So that's just kind of the strat I went with, and it worked. Game one. Game two, yeah, the Dwebble definitely threw me off. I thought it might be the Zoroark, but I didn't even know it got wide guard. I didn't read that, but I was like, my biggest thing with why I didn't Earthquake the game two is because I didn't want to proc the weakness policy on Duraludon and have it like one shot my Tornadus with a Thunder. I don't even know if it would, but I was like, well, I don't want to risk it, and I don't want to proc that. So I was like, I made a really dumb play though. I just ice sharded because I was like, if it is Zoroark, I want to kill it before it moves because obviously Tornadus will move first, but then Mamoswine, if I don't airstream, then Mamoswine will move first. I could have airstreamed and Icicle crashed, or I went for the Knuckle and Ice Shard, but the problem was I didn't account for the fact that, well, if it actually is Dwebble, that's not going to kill. So Dwebble actually I kind of wasted that turn one of Max, and then I was like, I probably could have left Mamoswine in there too, even though I knew Mamoswine hit his other mons, hard. Excadrill and Togekiss, and but I switched it out for Heracross and just kind of 8 damage with Heracross there, and finished off the Dwebble, and it basically ended in a weird endgame scenario where I didn't know if he was going to Earthquake. I didn't know if ball from Alakazam would AO the Excadrill basically.
And then game three, Staka Taka.
Yeah, game three I went Sakataka, and if he had counter on Dwebble, and if he clicked counter, he would have won, I think.
Yikes.
Because ironically, he was max HP Dwebble, and Dwebble has like 50 HP. I think Sakataka is like 60 something. So it was like it would have pretty much taken out most of my max health.
What was his item on Dwebble? Was he Eviolite or Sash or?
He was Citrus Berry.
Citrus.
He was sturdy.
Oh, of course,
so,
yeah.
So sturdy. So yeah,
Must have been sturdy.
Yeah, it wasn't safe. And then switching into Blissey was kind of a silly move, but either way, yeah, it's Sakataka does really well once you get those defense boosts. Because I was max defense, and like if you saw like the Excadrill, either Earthquake or High Horsepower did like 20% to non-Dynamax Sakataka. It was just nothing.
Yeah.
Even though it was 4 times super effective. So, that was yeah. But yeah, good for Seismitoads for getting the Dwebble to work. He brought it, and it got him a win. Almost got a kill.
Watching your video and like in game one at team preview, you're just like, what's he doing with the Dwebble? Why is he brought Dwebble? But yeah,
I know. Like I always want to respect those like just weird like low tiers. Like if people can make them work, so that's why I was like, I don't know. Like I didn't really think about what
you didn't prep for Dwebble at all.
I was looking at his prep, yeah. And that's what's nice about the low tiers too, is if you know how to use them well and people don't prep for them, like it can really throw your opponent off. And so yeah, and that's what it did. I was like, whoa.
He picked up a 2-1. How many of your games have gone to game 3 so far?
Oh, in VDL?
Just this season.
This one, just this season?
Yeah.
I think it was just this one.
All right.
Before it was 2-2-0s, yeah.
It wasn't like last season. It was only like one game in reg season that you went 2-1.
I don't think it was any game.
I think week 1 you went 2-1 over Kudella.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It was Kudella's. I couldn't remember if I did. Yeah, so Kudella's week 1 I did. So that was the one game. So yeah.
Interesting stats to think about. This next game was a big upset in most people's eyes, right? St. Lucie Luxuries over Tyranitar Sources.
This was a fun one to watch too.
It's just kind of crazy, to be honest. Like the game plan of just max Politoed every game, it'll do.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if Celesteel's not running a grass move, like if you look at Saki's team, who he brought, like he didn't bring anything that hit it for super effective.
And he was Assault Vest too.
Yeah, which it ate that Helping Hand Max Phantasm so well.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. That was really interesting. Yeah, I think maybe Saki should have capitalized on the Walrein more. I don't know, like that stuff doesn't hit the Walrein super hard, but um, yeah, I mean, it was just a close game back and forth. I think Saki could have pulled it out, but I think Luxray just had a little bit better upfront prep and just kind of went in with a better game plan.
Yeah, I think like maybe Saki kind of thought about the Dracovish a lot more than he thought about the Politoed.
Did he have sword stance on Walrein? Because if he did, he could possibly sweep with Walrein if he was able to at least get up on sword stance.
He had weakness policy.
Okay.
Some of the sets though, like there was like Thunder, Focus Blast, all sorts of inaccurate moves that were being thrown around.
You know what though? He hit about as many as you would expect. Like he hit about like he was throwing out blizzards, focus blasts, and thunders,
Oh
and
yeah,
he did miss a few, but I would say he hit a little more than half during the match. So it was like, okay, well, that's what you expect from these type of moves, I guess.
I got to say when I was
um,
watching it, I was popping off. Like I would have loved to have done like commentary on this game and posted it because my reaction was ridiculous. I was like popping off big time. Like oh my god, like the
wow,
thunders and focus blasts and blizzards, like the crit with the blizzards on Spectre. Like I think Saki said,
yeah,
it was a roll to
right,
kill with the crit, without the crit. Sorry.
right. So without the crit, I mean, yeah, who knows what that roll was? So don't know if it was good or bad roll, but um, that was interesting.
But yeah, crazy game, crazy game. But well done to White Rabbit for picking up the 2-1 over Saki. And we'll look at the next game.
Well, yeah. So the Blazigans and Jellicents, they're playing tonight.
Um, Pretzels, Suicunes not recorded. Quite a few of those this week, or a couple of those at least.
So, Scizor looks pretty strong for this weekend's in this matchup, considering he's got Fickle Fable, the Cottony, the Lycanroc. Um,
Kind of like dual wing beat for the Sulk as well.
yeah. Well, it's really interesting because it looks like they
Offensive
so
Fable.
essentially, yeah. Maybe it was. Maybe it was like he was expecting the bullet punch. Maybe he went weakness block or something. I don't know.
Gumi might actually be jumping in at some point. He said he's going to be late. We can ask him about that when he jumps in. But yeah,
I think what's interesting here is they both brought their teams game one and Bikun won, and then Pretzels wins game two with an adjustment, but Suicune also adjusted and brought in the Lowland Vulpix. And then they both reverted back to their game one plan, it looks like.
Fulpic's got a kill.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess the
pretty close to
Turtonator
the
was to counter the Scizor.
right. And Slowbro, well, I guess Scissor is
Bug.
or something hit the Slowbro hard, but yeah, Coordinator. Um, Coordinator actually looks pretty good.
I do remember Toot saying actually that he Gumi made a trade for Sulk, right, and it hadn't updated on the site, so
Yeah.
he had no idea Sulk was coming, which might have affected his prep, but who knows? He said like the way they played, like he deserved to win. So yeah, 2-1 for the Pretzels. Gumi might elaborate a little bit if he joins us in time. If not, we'll leave it at that.
5-2-1s. Love seeing the game threes.
Yeah.
Next up is my game.
All right, then Zed, go for it. Oh,
Um, yeah, this game was kind of a disaster for me quite a bit. Um, Goomer warned me about the beat up and Gallade stuff, but I
I
kind of
saw
already
it.
knew. I kind of already knew that he would actually bring that when I noticed in my prep when he had a Dragapult and Gallade, and I put two and two together. I'm like, oh, this is definitely going to be an interesting battle, and I probably may see beat up, so I should probably get ready for that. So um, I in game one, it was essential just to set up screens so I can minimize the damage of how much Glade can do, and then it did way more than expected. Um,
He
I
didn't
really
max it,
wanted
did
to
he?
use.
He
I
didn't.
actually go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. He like I think I'm not sure it was game one or game two. He didn't even max the Gallade. He just beat up into it
Yeah,
without maxing, and then hit a CC.
Yeah, which I think
yeah,
is really smart actually, because CC is stronger than Max Knuckle, and you don't waste your max, and
Yeah,
so it's like that was a really really smart decision I think by
yeah.
Felicia.
I game one I wanted to use Toxtricity more than Licky Licky. Obviously, that didn't go well as planned. Um, Even though Toxtricity had a decent matchup, it just instantly got KO'd. I think it was by I don't know if it was Dragapult or Gallade that got the kill on Toxicity. And as for game two, I adjusted quite a bit, bringing Barraskewda, noticing that in game one, Togepi was uh, the main uh, culprit my uh, to my loss for game one. He actually expected Venusaur to actually be on team preview since he told me after the game that he prepped a lot for Venusaur and not for Barraskewda. So uh, it was a good surprise for him and a surprise for me as well because bringing Propel was really good uh, for game two, ignoring Follow Me and getting a decent amount of damage on the Dragapult and Glade. Obviously, didn't go as well, but that was a nice adjustment for me for game two.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think for me the uh if I was facing a beat up thing, like unless I'm like charming or burning it potentially, I don't know, like I personally wouldn't go for screens, I don't think. Just because like their attack damage is getting like so high. It's like
They're still like plus
a little bit
two with screens, aren't they?
yeah, like the reduction is isn't really that much. But the other thing I was wondering is did you have Sucker Punch on Grimmsnarl? Because I would think that would be a good counter to the
No, I did. I had foul play on it since I knew he would. Most of his arms would be physical, so I brought foul play on Grim.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get a foul play on a plus four Gallade, that would or plus three Gallade, that would do quite a bit. But it's just trying to get it off more so.
Yeah, and plus, if I had Sucker Punch, I would just give it another attack boost. So, uh, not really worth it in my eyes, but I could definitely see it
Yeah, but you
coming if I were to redo it
sucker
again.
punch the Dragapult, stopping it from beating up. I think you said.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, if I were to do that, then yeah,
I think
that would definitely be the
I think
situation.
Goomer might have said it as well actually in our chat, but offensive Grimmsnarl would have been pretty nice here.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was actually thinking about bringing Trick, Jackbutt, and Grimmsnarl this game, but I decided not to, just opting for screens.
That would have worked
Maybe
better.
something I may use
That
in the
would
future,
that would have been
but
better as well. I think. Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
Right.
that's fine. I think Darmanitan's played really well here.
I mean, we know like Floxia's an ex champ, or never really lost his title, but he took a break for season three. But
Yeah.
we got one more to look over, or is it the unplayed games? Oh yeah,
No,
we
we've
do.
got
It's Rebellion and
millions
Turtles.
total.
So not a lot to talk about other than Clash Gear goes brr.
I was so like I actually think Lucian could have won these games. Um, I know the like because even though it didn't get, I don't know why it didn't get the kill. I think there was hail chip or something. But the last game it was only a 1-0 victory. Um, but like the Scraggy with foul play was actually really interesting. Um, but the he what did he do? I think he did something with Comfey. Oh, I think it was like if he protected Comfey and then Draining Kiss the next turn to stall out the max or something.
Yeah,
I think he was foul playing into the Glastrier, um, and it was maxed, which was fine to get damage off on it. Um, think he maybe draining kissed the Jolteon. I think maybe that's what it was. And I think if he draining kissed the Glacier or just like protected assault the max, then hit it once it was non-max, like I think that would have been a little extra chip he needed to get rid of the Glacier, and then he could have just gone Scraggy versus Jolteon potentially,
Does
which
does Comfy get in
I
prison?
don't know. I think so.
I can check that. Let me see.
I mean, Lucian's brave.
Oh,
Bring it.
the other,
Go on.
yeah. I was gonna say
I
the other thing
don't
he could
think
have
he gets
done
in prison.
is Max guarded the Gudra to stall out Max, which I was very surprised at. I think it was +2 defense or something like that, but it had like 140 HP or something. And the Max Hailstorm from Glacier didn't actually kill, and I was very surprised. I was like, whoa.
Was Glacier
But
-1 from a Scraggy Intimidate or something?
it might have been also. It might have been like -1 plus and +2, but even so, I was like, Gudra doesn't have great defense, and it is a Glacier, so I would have figured it killed. But the interesting thing is he went for a max Wormwind, and oh, that was the other thing. If he went for the max Steel Spike, it would have done more damage slightly, because like max Wormwind is 130 times 1.5 is like 195. The max Steel Spike would be like 130 times 2,
Yeah.
like 260 power. So the max Steel Spike would have done more damage, and that's the extra chip needed, I think.
And the +1 defense is same as the -1 attack.
But he
So
died to hail chip next. Well, yeah, he died to hail chip next turn anyways.
yeah.
So I don't think it mattered too much, but just in terms of the damage wise. But yeah, I mean, Ice Versa is definitely gonna be a problem for Lucian's teams anyways because
Dragons.
dragons.
I like how he's changed his logo like for each VDL team. Like last season it was the Guja Dragonite, now it's the Guja Lucario, which is funny.
Doesn't have Dragonite. He's got to change it.
Yeah.
But good for Squirtles on getting another win. So I think they're 2-1.
Yes, I think so. Yeah. They only lost to Saki week 1 so far, I think. We already talked about your game a little bit. Gumi's joined us.
Yeah.
But obviously with no footage, we couldn't exactly tell what happened. We were just looking at the stats. Do you want to quickly talk about it again?
Sure. Yeah. So, in my game versus Toots, right? What happened was, so he led. I think game 1 he led Kangaskhan, and trying to think because it was like almost like it was a while back, but
Aerodactyl, Raikou, Scizor.
yeah, he led Kangaskhan, Raikou. That's it. And my strategy was offensive Clefable with Cotton. So I led Cotton Spore Cottony with Fake Tears, Taunt, and something else. So I was offensive Clefable. I had my strategy was to kind of just blast everything with Clefable, and then have Sock and Lycanroc kind of pick it up. So what happened game 1 is that didn't exactly work because there were some rolls on Raikou, and what happened was Clefable couldn't OHKO Raikou, couldn't OHKO Kangaskhan, and it wasn't enough for Sock and Lycanroc to pick up. So he was able to win the game with Aerodactyl. Game 2, I let Trick Room. So I had Physical Turtonator with Slibro. I just had the Bulldoze weakness policy set. And so that was able to deal with him game 2. And then game 3, I led the Clefable Cottony again. And it came down to the point where so he had stalled out my max, but I had done enough damage to where I was in a pretty good position. And then because of Cottony's Cotton Spore, it was a -4 Raikou versus like an 8 HP Clefable. So
Right at the end.
It came down to him not having extreme speed, and so I won that game 1-0. So it was a super close set, but yeah, it was really offensive Clefable coming in clutch, and then there's a couple other things there as well. So
did he? So who? I'm curious who he faked out in those games because like game 1, did he fake out Clefable with Kingston?
Game 1 he faked out Cotton. Game 2 he faked out Sock, but I was inner focus. So I let Sock Slowbro there, trying to get some damage with my Scarf Sock. And yeah, he faked out Sokka there. So and
But you
then
could,
game
I mean, you could have been
three,
sturdy to be fair too.
yeah. And sturdy is in general better. But yeah, I did go for inner focus because of Kangaskhan. And then game three he didn't lead Kangaskhan. But it ended up faking out. I think Lycanroc ended up faking out. So
Yeah.
Interesting, good stuff. This looks like a good game. Wish we could have seen it.
dude, I so badly wish we could have recorded as well, but just the circumstances. It was such a fun game, and definitely props to Toots, dude. It was one of the best matches I played, in all of VDL, and so yeah, it was insane.
I'm expecting the phone recording next.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll do that next time.
Scuff phone recording's better than nothing. Well, thanks for joining us from the great outdoors.
Yeah, I know you can probably hear a lot of stuff. Sorry.
But
Yeah, there's a lot of wind turbulence.
that is every fixture that we have played. We've talked about. So we're just gonna pull up the power rankings now for the week 3, and here it is on screen for me. I put it in the chat for the rest of you guys. Goomer took the helm on this one. This is a bit more based on like gameplay rather than just results, right?
Yeah, so it's like, you know, the 2-0s or the 3-0s are going to be ahead of the 2-1s, but like if you're 2-1 and your differential is +1, you might be below somebody who's 2-1 and +0 or something. Like it's just based on the matchups and the play. Who we think is doing better.
Right. Yeah. So even like Wailords haven't won a game yet, but they've come up against like Saki and who else they played so far? Oh, Toots. Definitely some good players. But there's more to it.
The let's see, and like for like in the top 3, so it's Slowbros, Darmantans, and then Umbreons for the top 4, I guess. We're the only undefeated team so far, but Umbreons, yeah, still hasn't played their game this week. But for like Colopsia, so I put him above me because I think just based on the play and stuff, and him and Otto, like I think they've been making really good plays, and they, you know, like I think in my last game against the Seismitoads, like, you know, I went into that counter duel and like I totally could have lost. Like I wasn't making the safest or best plays, I don't think. And
Yeah.
so I kind of squeaked out a win there. So even though I am undefeated still, it's like they weren't super clean games.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And so I put them ahead of me there. And then yeah, I know like the Luxrays beat the Sauces here, but it was a really close game, and I think just based on consistency, like
Yeah, I was gonna say a little inconsistent because since they lost to Ted the week before, you know, like it's not like a
right.
not like a drop on Ted at all, but you know, it's just.
I mean, yeah, if the Luxrays keep winning, they could definitely jump into top 5. I think
they
for
got
the
this week?
for the Rhydons, they've I don't know who they play this week.
I think they got Umbreons.
Oh, they do. Yeah, that'll be a good test actually, because if they beat Umbreons, then they would definitely claim a top 5 spot because they'd knock Umbreons out.
If they can schedule with Mega, that is.
Yeah. And so, yeah, the Rhydons I think have proved themselves to be doing really well. They've faced some tough teams. Like they lost 2-1 to Scraggies, and
They beat the Bugs and who was their other win?
they beat Kudella.
Oh, Gudella.
So
yeah.
and so I think that's solid. They've been putting up some good fights. Scraggies, like it's interesting because Scraggy has 2-1 wins, and then an 0-2 loss against Otto. But like the 2-1 wins, one was against Rhydons, the other was against who else did Scraggy's play now?
I'm trying to think myself now.
Well, either way, the Scraggies I think have just been playing pretty really well, and so even though they have a +0 differential because they won they have two 2-1s and they lost 0-2, but I still don't think that the differential like shows how good the play is. Like I think that auto game kind of came down to one turn read. Like if they went into the Thunderous with the Max Rockfall with the Mudsail, like that could have swayed that game to
Right.
that
Yeah.
way. And then so I think Scraggy, and we've seen Scraggy's play and they're good, and so keeping them up there. Ninja Squirrel's right behind them. I mean, they lost to Saki, and he had a good matchup, I think, with the Celesteela, and so, but then they picked up some 2 wins, but they won against the,
Rebellion.
well, they won against Rebellion, which I think, again, Ice Force had a good matchup, and then they won against the Pidovs, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And they picked up a 2-0 win there, which Pidovs isn't doing great right now, so, not, not super big wins, but I think, yeah, if we can see the Squirtles, playing like that, they'll move up. Umi took a hard loss initially, and then
Yeah.
has been climbing back
Who did you lose to?
Also, Umbreon.
All right.
with the snarls.
Oh, yeah. The
Ah, I hate the streaking snarls, dude.
Yeah, so we've still got depending on the results from 2 of the games from week 3, 5 winless teams. Oh right, one of them has to win because it's number 21 versus number 22. One of them has to win.
Oh, in this next week?
No. In one.
Oh no,
in,
tonight. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
the week 3 game left to play.
So it'll be, and then, potentially Wailords against Umbreons. I'm not sure how that's going to shake out. But here's the thing: is with games like that, even if they don't get scheduled and somebody has to take a forfeit win, I think that hurts the person who's ranked higher more than the person who's ranked lower. Because the person who's ranked lower, it's like, yeah, you got to win, but like you didn't have to play for it, so you can't really
We can't
really
give you
move them
points
up
for
too
it.
much
Yeah.
for that. But you can definitely hurt the person up top who took a loss, because like that's a loss on the record, and now like like it just sit up there with accumulating losses from forfeits. So
Yeah.
it's like it hurts. I think it hurts the person ranked higher more for sure.
I mean,
but yeah, we'll see how that shakes out.
yeah, but that's it for this week. Then we'll hopefully try and get a week 4 done a lot sooner than we got this one done. Well, I mean, this isn't bad for week 3. It's only a couple of days over, but week 2 was bad.
Yeah, I mean, we were just waiting for matches to get played if they could, but
that's the thing. Like PR
sadly,
depends on matches being done, or else you're gonna get like half a job. Like there's only 2 matches here that we couldn't do, but yeah.
Hopefully, everybody can catch up this week.
Yeah, good luck to everyone this week. Me and Goomer are about to duke it out right away now.
Yeah.
And then me versus Gumi will be another day, and I'm about to battle him in a couple of minutes after the PR. So, wish us both luck.
Hey, you guys are playing right after.
Yeah, we're doing a random battle for the PBF. So yeah,
And a different
PDC
league.
style.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, just get your game done before the end of the week for the PRC.
Yeah.
We will.
Yeah.
All right. So, speak to you next week, guys. Have a good one.
See ya.
Yeah, you too.